and welcome to another edition of From the Archive, where we look back at some of the Sporty Usher's best bits. This episode we're looking at a fan favourite part of the show that'll make a long overdue return to the next podcast. No, not the bits where Jed barks in the background, or the bits where we get our prediction terribly wrong. It's the Usher versus Usher challenge, where Dave and I battle wits and our failing memories to see just who is the sportiest Usher. For the first time on the Spreaker platform, let's go right back to the very first Sporty Usher episode, the first time that Dave and I locked horns.
Okay, so before we move on to talking about what we love, which is football and cricket mainly, we're going to do a bit of an Usher versus Usher challenge.
Yes.
So this, again, we have, and if you're listening, Josh, Chris or Michael, from the Kevin Willie Score podcast, we are sorry that we have stolen your idea again, but it's only because we love you.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said on the other podcast, if they will let us come to the show in Manchester, if it goes ahead in November, we'll buy you a pint, an apology. So what we've done here is I have picked a classic England match from a major tournament.
Yes.
And I am going to challenge James to give me England's starting 11. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to take you back to the 30th of June. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it is in the 30th of June, 1998, in the Stade Geoffrey Guichard in Saint-Étienne, for the World Cup. I think it was the second round of 16, I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
Argentina versus England.
Yes.
So can you give me the England's starting 11? And they used 3 subs, so any of the 14 men who took the part in that controversial night in Saint-Étienne.
And Dave, for you, I have got one of the most famous Scottish matches of the last 25 years. It's the infamous Estonia versus Scotland match from 1997. Now, I was going to originally choose the abandoned match where Estonia just didn't fancy it and just didn't turn up. I was going to choose.
Was this a game in Monaco, I believe,
yes,
wasn't it? It took place.
I was going to choose the original game in Tallinn, the one team in Tallinn, but it is pretty much the Euro 96 team. So I didn't think that was quite. Give myself more of a chance. It is I'm going to ask you to name the Scotland starting lineup and the subs that they made from the 11th of February 1997 Estonia versus Scotland in Monaco.
Right, okay. So when was it? 1997?
Yes. So we'll do one name.
Okay.
Should I go first then? For the
yes, okay.
I'll name a player, then you name a player, yeah?
Okay, go on then.
So, first of all, in goal, I'll go David Seaman.
David Seaman is correct.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to go in goal, and I'm going to win 97.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Gorham.
Yes, correct. Well, the announced himself on the world scene, Michael Owen.
Michael Owen, indeed, yes. Okay, right, so we're talking 97. Oh, Colin Henry.
Colin Henry, yes.
Yeah. Right.
So then I'll go score of the other goal, I think. Big Al, Alan Shearer.
Alan Shearer, penalty after 10 minutes, yep.
Yes.
So, that's right, because they got a penalty after 6 minutes, didn't they? And then it was... Right,
yeah,
so Shearer, yeah. Okay. Duncan Ferguson.
Yes, Big Dunk was playing up front before he...
I remember... Well, it was just after it fell out of the SFA, and I remember being really excited because Duncan Ferguson was going to be playing for Scotland. And if I remember correctly, the score finished 0-0 in that game.
So I will go with the guy who Michael Owen took the ball off his toes when he scored his great goal, Paul Scholes.
Paul Scholes, correct. Yep. Now, we mentioned, so this guy has gone on, had a great career, played for Liverpool, played for Scotland, scored many goals, is currently the Rangers assistant manager. I believe Gary McAllister played in that game.
Oh, yes, I think it was his most famous sort of contribution, wasn't it? It's not like he did anything.
Oh, yeah. But all the great he did in the game, every time anyone mentions Gary McAllister, I just think he missed that ficking penalty at Euro 96. So McAllister.
Okay, yeah. I'll go for a guy who definitely didn't do anything controversial in Mr. David Beckham.
David Beckham, yes, obviously got sent off in that game.
Yes.
Right, if I'm thinking Hendry, he was probably partnered in 97 by Colin Calderwood.
He was, yes, Colin Calderwood. So I'll go for centre-back. I'm pretty certain he did start. He maybe did come on a sub, but I'm pretty certain Sol Campbell was definitely involved.
Sol Campbell, yes. No, he started. He
scored the header, didn't he? Well, they got disallowed.
That's right, yes, he did.
There was definitely a ball, by the way. He absolutely clambered all over them. But
I'm going to complete my back four. I'm going to say 97. So I'm going to guess here because I think he played. I'm going to guess Jackie McNamara.
Jackie McNamara was the right back. Yes.
Oh, thank God for that.
So 98. I'm pretty certain he played Paul Ince.
Paul Ince, yes. Paul Ince missed a penalty.
Yeah. I mean, he certainly started.
Yeah. John Collins.
John Collins, yes, of Monaco, as he was at the time.
Yes, indeed, yeah.
One of the first Bosman transfers, wasn't he?
He was indeed.
We've got, I'm pretty certain he started, again, Mr. Penalty, David Batty.
David Batty came on as a substitute.
So do I get another...
You get another go.
Okay.
Yeah, so Batty was a substitute, yeah.
Batty was a substitute. So then Tony Adams would have been...
Tony Adams played, yeah. Right, now I'm going to get... So if McNamara's at right back, it's got to be Tom Boyd at left back.
Tom Boyd was at left back, yes.
Right, okay. I'm starting to struggle now.
Tom Boyd, yep. So who did we have? Who would have been left back? Would have been Graham Lasso.
Graham Lasso. I was going to say, have you not got great? He's like the most famous pre-Ashley Cole left back. I was hoping that would take you a bit longer. Right, so I'm going to so if I should have written these in. Right, so hang on, let me just see. So I've got Gorham, then I've got Boyd, Hendry, Calderwood, McNamara. Who have I got in midfield? McAllister and Collins. Ferguson up front. So I'm missing two midfielders. It's too early for Paul Lambert. Paul McStay.
Yes, we're number 8. So who would have been right back for England? It must have been. I'm going to say it was Gary Neville. Was right. It back
was Gary Neville. Right. So I am missing. Unless we did 4-3-3, which we might have done. So who would it potentially have been up front? 98, 97. Let me think. McCoist
was on the bench and he came off the bench.
Oh, he came off the bench. Oh, thank goodness. Right, okay. I don't know. I think I'm out. Right, let me think. Who went to 98 World Cup up front?
Who went to 98 World Cup?
I said, yeah, I'm thinking who, because this is the year before, so there's a chance that they would still be playing.
What you mean? Oh, yeah.
So, I'm torn between two.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Gallagher,
yes, he was up.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
So you have one more and two on the bench.
So I definitely know one of the guys who was on the bench. Wait, who have I got? Do we play? We played 3 at the back, didn't we?
So you've got.
We played 3 at the back because we had Beckham. Or do we have?
Well, no, you went 2 at the back. So you've got Adams and Campbell with Lasso and Neville.
Yeah.
And then you've got Beckham and Scholes.
Yeah.
Owen and Shearer. And you're missing one more.
Yeah, so I'm guessing. Do we have 5 at the back, or did we have? Because I know Darren Anderton scored against Colombia. Did he play though?
Did he?
Oh man! So I know who was on the bench as well. I know one of the guys who came off the bench. He scored a penalty. All right, I'm going to guess Darren Anderton.
Oh, you got it! You built it.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to have to guess Gordon Jury.
Gordon Jury.
Yeah.
Of Rangers, I believe at the time.
I think so.
He was not on the bench.
Oh, no! Not the first time Gordon Jury has let me down.
He was not. Do you want to know the last? So I've named all 11, haven't I? So
yeah, you've got all 11, yeah.
You've got 10. The last was John McGinley from Bolton, who I didn't think played that much for Scotland, yeah.
God, I've guessed all day and not got that.
Yeah. The other sub was Ian Ferguson.
I wouldn't have got him either.
Paul Lambert was on the bench. Ian Jess as well, and Billy McKinley. And Jim Leighton. Jim Leighton was still on the bench in 1997.
Aye, that would have been. He played in. Because he was still at Man United until he was about 40 or something.
He was for a long time.
Oh dear. Oh, that was. Oh, I can't. Right, I say I'm not too disappointed because I would never have got John McGinley in a million years. So, he played. It was a Bolton he played for, wasn't it?
He was. Yeah, I remember Bolton doing really well in that sort of first iteration of the Bolton team that got the very lower leagues of the Premier League before it kind of came back under Sam Allardyce.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. That was
good, yeah. Well, what a magnificent and totally original idea that was. It went so well that we decided to do it again the next episode. Here's the second one.
Okay, so that brings us to the highlight of the podcast for me, at least. It is the Usher versus Usher challenge. So as of last week, we set each other a classic England and Scotland match, and we challenged each other to name the 11 players. Now, James won 11-10 last week because I basically forgot that John McGinley ever played for Scotland. So this week, James, I am going to take you back to a rain-sodden night in November 2007, a Euro qualifier between England and Croatia.
Oh, yes.
Which is synonymous for the headline the next day, the Wally with the Brawley. I think it was Steve McLaren's last game in charge of England. England lost the game 3-2. So your challenge is to name the 11 players who started that game. Okay. If you name one of the 3 players who came on, you get to guess again. But yes, 14 players were used, 3 substitutes, but that is your challenge.
Okay. So you've gone October 2007. I will quickly throw in the excuse that I was working that night. I couldn't get the night off work, so I managed to catch a little bit of it on my break. But I didn't watch the full game. So so that's getting my excuses in nice and early.
Yes.
So you've got that's October 2007.
November 21st of November 2007.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the 12th of September 2007. The Parc de France, a Group B European Championship qualifier. The famous last week I gave you one of the most infamous games in sort of recent Scottish.
Yes, indeed you did.
Then this is one of the great victories of Scotland. It's the night that Scotland beat France 1-0.
Oh, yes.
In the Parc de France. And also when they did the double over France, having beaten them earlier 1-0.
Yes, they also beat them at Hampden as well. Yes.
So that was a very, very famous night. And so there's 11 starting players. There's only 2 subs who came on in this game, so you've got slightly fewer second chances.
Okay.
But that is yours. I went first last week. Should you go first this week then?
Yes, I'll go first this time. I think what we'll do is, because we'll go with one life each. So if you get you're allowed one wrong. How about that? Is that fair?
Yes. Yeah. Fair.
Okay, cool. So my first is going to be, where else can I start? If I could steal a bit of commentary from the night, when Peter Martin said, "It's James McFadden, he's a genius again for Scotland." So my guess has to be the one and only James McFadden.
Yes, he surprisingly he did play, an enigmatic forward, I guess you say. Like what is his best position? I don't think he ever figured it out himself, did he? Really?
The ball at his feet is his best position. Yes. Ball at his feet.
Yeah. There's also on the I'm not stalling for time when I say this, but on the BBC website there's a really cool little thing where you kind of recreate famous Scottish goals, and you have to kind of guess if a guy's going to go left or right or hit it first time. I think the answer with the James McFadden one is he hits it first time from about 30 yards. It's a phenomenal goal. So yeah, I think I've done enough stalling now, and I will say that so I'm pretty certain, and I think it was his last game. I'm pretty certain that in goal was Ben Foster.
I am afraid that you have lost your one and only life.
Oh no,
Ben Foster is incorrect.
Oh jeez.
Okay.
Are you sure he didn't?
I am looking at the lineup now, and he wasn't even in the squad that night.
Oh, maybe he'd already retired, or he retired quite young. Anyway. Go on then. I suppose it's your turn then.
Okay. So I will go with
choosing one goalkeeper. That'd be much appreciated as well, please.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I'm going to choose the man who set up the goal for James McFadden that night, and that would be Craig Gordon.
Yes, Craig Gordon is correct. Frequent visitor to my cinema in Edinburgh. I won't tell you exactly which one in case gets sworn by
yes,
fans.
Indeed. So if you could bear me just a quick aside on Craig Gordon, just to give you a little bit of time to remember who actually played in goal for England that night. is we were out at my, I think it was my brother's stag do, like years and years ago when he played for Hearts, and we'd all had that. We'd had a drink, if I'm honest, James, and we saw Craig